What's going on, guys? Love Star VGC here, back with a new video. Today we are going over the Unaware Draft League VGC Season 1 Power Rankings. 20 teams in this league, so it's a pretty large league. So let's just dive right into it, because this might take a little bit. Starting off at 20, we have JJ and the Stupid Town Tandem Mouse. The reason I put this team last is just due to a lack of synergy, I feel. Overall, you got some good tools here. Manaphy, Landorus Incarnate, Weavile, good speed tiers over here, for sure. I just don't understand how it's gonna work personally. That might be a me problem, but yeah, just kind of put this one last, just like I said, just lack of synergy overall. But they could still do fairly well this season, so just because you're 20 does not mean that you're gonna be here at the end of the season. Going next to 19, we have Indy and the Glalie Hater Club. As you can see, this team is primarily a snow team. I don't think very highly of snow teams in VGC overall. I know that Alolan Ninetales and Articuno did have a niche in Reg H. One regional, I think maybe two, not positive on that. But I know they did win one regional, and I saw them on a bunch of tours on Limitless. So there are good pieces here, of course. They can do something with this team. They got some pretty good speed tiers over here. Ogerpon Cornerstone is just a good, solid mon, sturdy. Follow me, so you can get off Aurora Veil pretty easily, and yeah, I mean, Titan is pretty fun in snow, of course, with Slush Rush, belly drum stuff. So they do have good tools here. Again, I'm just a hater as well, but I'm hating on snow overall, so that's kind of why I put it at 19. Going to 18, we have King Strong and the Brave Little Caesars. Love the logo, it's hilarious. Again, just kind of a lack of synergy overall. Triple Fairy, Quad Fairy with Clefairy, Grimmsnarl, Mimikyu, Comfey. Just kind of gives a lack of coverage. I mean, Grimmsnarl screens is always good. I suppose you could go multi-scale Dragonite behind screens, or Hisuian Gudra shelter stuff to set up, even Phalanx. So I mean, there are options here. Again, it's just what I feel is a lack of synergy and speed control here that might hurt them as the season goes on. But they could make a trade or two to really shore this team up and possibly go pretty far with it. Coming in at 17, we have New and the Brooklyn Paradox. This team does have a little bit better synergy with a couple pieces together. Indeedee Mail with Hisuian Braviary, Psy-Spam stuff. There's a rain mode with Pelipper, Basculegion, Thunderous Incarnate. So they've got pieces here for sure. The reason it's lower for me is just here due to the 22 points left over from the draft. I feel like you could probably use that somewhere to shore up some of these weaknesses on the team, and probably add a couple synergistic pieces to it to really have a pretty solid team, but those 22 points left over, just kind of felt that probably could have done a little bit better. But again, just maybe a few trades away from being a pretty solid team. So that's why they are at 17. Coming in at 16, we have Clevin and the On the Contrary team. Talonflame is pretty solid in VGC Draft. Superior can do some pretty cool contrary shenanigans with Urshifu single strike, always solid. Rotom Wash is a good pivot, good support mon. Hitmontop for intimidate, other fake out. I believe wide guard as well. Fergaraf is always a good mon to have on your team. So I feel they've got some good pieces. I just don't think they have enough to really benefit from the Talonflame Tailwind or from a Trick Room mode through Fergaraf. So again, some good pieces here. Just what I feel they could probably make a move or two to really make this that much better. Coming in at 15, we have Iono and the Levincia Lattes. Pretty much primarily a rain team here with looks like two different Parish modes as well. Parish is fun, but I'm not confident on how well it would perform in a draft setting, just because you can build up against it with fun things like eject pack, eject button, some pivot moves to get out of there, Terra Ghost. So I think Parish does better in a like a open team sheet, VGC like tournament setting, to where you can't just build up against it. But they do have Archaludon is such a good mon. And they can do some really cool stuff with that. They've shored up all of their speed tiers pretty well, I feel. Chinchino is the fastest mon they have. I don't know how well that would perform in VGC, but you can do some pretty cool stuff in Draft League and take some people by surprise. So I feel they've got the tools, but I'm not confident on how well it performs. So that's why I have them at 15. Coming in at 14, we have Lumberry and the Damaraland Darumakas. Mouse Ape is such a good combo. Pair that with Iron Bundle and ones like Hydreigon, Eviolite, Torracat. Mudsdale stamina stuff is solid too. Leaving 5 points on the board does concern me a little bit. I feel like you could have probably made a move or two to really get a higher value mon here. Just make a trade and kind of shore up some of these weaknesses a bit, or find another synergistic piece, I guess, to really complement the rest of the squad. But if you've got Mouse Ape, you've got a chance, and then you pair that with like Bundle. It's you've got a pretty good team. So while there are flaws to it, I feel 14 is pretty appropriate for this team, and they could do fairly well and prove me wrong. So next we're coming in at 13 with Cynthia and the Washington Ruination. This team is very slow, as you can see. 92 Squawkabilly is the highest speed, so they're primarily going to be running bulky offense and Trick Room modes, and you don't get much better than having Ursaluna Blood Moon for a Trick Room mode. Cresselia, it's just a bulky mon. You can do a lot of stuff with that. It's very supportive. You can do like Suicune Tailwind if you wanted to, take it by surprise. Slitherwing could be a good pivot. First impression is awesome. If you want to do like a Choice Band, Life Orb set, maybe. Do some just massive damage on switches. Pair that with the Hisuian Arcanine, Intimidate. They've got options, even Wo-Chien's the mascot over here. Stall modes to bring that in later in the game. So and Alcremie Decorate. So I mean, like, they've got pieces here. I just feel that it does have a lack of synergy in certain parts, but if you've got Raging Bolt, Ursaluna Blood Moon, Cresselia, you're gonna have a pretty solid VGC team. So that's why I feel like 13 is a good spot for this one. Coming in at 12, we have Oliver and the Breakneck Blitzels. This team is pretty solid. Murkrow Tailwind stuff, Chi-Yu, Regidrago is such a good combo there. Maximizing your special attack output. Dragon Energy is just an amazing move, honestly. Especially in VGC. So you're definitely going to need wide guard support when facing this team. Or at least fake out. Otherwise, if you got a Chi-Yu Regidrago lead, they could easily just sweep you if you're not prepared for it. Ogerpon Teal is solid support on this team, and with Terra Speed Boost there, it can do some pretty good stuff. It's got good coverage overall. Raichu is a good support option for this team as well. Hoopa, want to mention Hoopa there. You can do some really cool stuff with Hoopa, and Speed Boost Yanmega with Tailwind. So you do have like 2 different Tailwind modes. So they've got a lot of options to play with here. I just feel like they probably could have gone with another physical sweeper to really complement the Tailwind modes here. So that's why I got them at 12. And again, I could see them doing very well this season. Just maybe a move or two, and they could really take this team to the next level for sure. Coming in at 11, we have Kuro and the Cheerful Corviknights. Love the logo, that's hilarious. Good speed tier coverage overall. We got Torn, Great Tusk, Volk, Walking Wake, all mons that can function well in Sun mode with Tailwind. Great Tusk pairs really well with the Torn, just because Earthquake stuff. It's not effective against flying, so it's got pretty good synergy. I feel that some of the bottom pieces here, I don't see how they complement the team all that much, other than Gastrodon, to really counter any water types that you're going to come across. So I feel 11 is a good spot for this one. Maybe they could make another move or two to try and complement this team just a little bit better, but still a pretty solid team overall. At 10th, we have Talonmaster J and the Atlanta Talonflames. Good speeds overall. Not sure why Hisuian Lilligant isn't mentioned there, but it's a pretty fast mon. I think it's over 100 base speed, if I recall correctly. Torrentharian is a great pivot. You have other pivot options in Incineroar. Um, you know, if you have Incineroar on your draft league team, you're already going to be mid tier in my opinion. Just such a solid mon to build around. You can do so much with it. Such a versatile mon. Um, Iron Valiant is great. Really good mon. Wide guard support. Booster energy sets to outspeed pretty much anything you're going to come across. Is really, really good. Primarina proved to us in Reg H that it is a force to be reckoned with on the right team. And I just love Baxcalibur. Baxcalibur is probably one of my favorite Gen 9 mons. And Scizor is one of my favorite classic mons for sure. So maybe I'm a little bit biased just because I like some of the pieces here, but I do see how they can function well together. And that's why I feel right in the middle of the pack at 10 is a good spot for this one. Coming in at 9, we have Lucinderace and the Crocodile Crew. Great speeds. Obviously, you have Deoxy Speed coming in at 180. He's going to outspeed everything in the format. Enamorous, Incarnate. You can do some really fun contrary stuff. Stellar Terra, Terra Blast. Just to keep boosting your special attack is great. Electabuzz is a very good support mon. Really did some work in Reg H and proved that it is the best in its evolutionary tree. Sorry, Electivire, but Electabuzz is the king. You can do some fun stuff with Hisuian and Zoroark, throw off your opponent. Garchomp is really solid mon. I mean, Urshifu Rapid Strike's one of the best mons in the format. Probably one of the best VGC mons ever. So, if you've got all those pieces, you can do something with it. Maybe they could make a move or two if they wanted to kind of complement things better, but I think they've got a lot of really good tools here, and I feel that 9 is appropriate for this team at the moment. Coming in at 8, we have Matt and the Pittsburgh Double Shocks. I believe they got Qianpo at number 5, which is wild to me. I just think Qianpo is such a good mon, especially in draft, like just to build around. They did a really good job of pairing that with Dragapult. Qianpo Dragapult was made finals of Worlds. I believe it was 2023. 2022. Can't remember off the top of my head, but that was the Michael Kelch team. So it proved that is a very, very strong combo. You have Arcanine Extreme Speed stuff, just to pair with that as well. Gyarados, just to add some, to slow things down, more Intimidate. Can't go wrong there. Galarian Weezing is a very, very good mon. It really makes things tough to build around, especially if you have abilities that you really need, so you're kind of stuck between deciding, do I need to use an ability shield up against this team or not? And then there's always the threat that, or the worry that maybe he doesn't even bring Galarian Weezing, and now you've got an ability shield on your mon for nothing, and you could have used a better item. So I think that this is a really good team. Maybe they could make a move or two to, again, try and complement things a little bit better. I'm not sure how Pecharunt does in VGC, so I did rank it maybe a little bit higher than this team might actually be, but Pecharunt has some good moves, good coverage, and its signature move is really, really good. So I think this team should easily end up in the top half at the bottom at the begin by the end of the season for sure. Coming in at 7, we have my team, the Maui Mimicuties. I apologize if I'm a little bit biased, but I think that this team really complements each other very, very well. Uh, Different trick room modes, trick road options with Dancy, Ursaluna, Gallade, um, a little faster modes like Side Spam with Iron Crown, Galarian Zapdos. Um, does pretty well with Ursaluna. So, again, it's my team. I may be biased, but I think for primarily a Trick Room team that this has good options um, outside of Trick Room as well. So, um, yeah, hopefully I end up a little bit higher by the end of the season, but we will see. Coming in at 6, we have Super Dolphin and the Pacific-Log Palafins. I really like this team. Whimsicott is just a great mod in VGC. Won Worlds last year. I love Latios. Ogerpon Hearthflame is one of the best Gen 9 mons for sure. You can do some fun Whimsicott beat up into Justified Terrakion stuff. To catch people off guard, or you can just throw in the right in the Tailwind and go from there. Crocodile, does pair well with things like the Latios with the Levitate. So this team is very good. Again, maybe they could make another move or so to really complement the rest of the team. Maybe add some sweeper under Tailwind. But it's a pretty good team overall. So I could easily see them finishing into the top 5 for sure by the end of the season. Coming in at 5, we have Caltech and the Kalos Quagsires. Just a really good team overall. Rillaboom, Sneasler stuff. I mean, you got you can go Grassy Seed Unburdened there. So that's a really good combo. Sinistra is such a good pivot mon. You got Hospitality support. So you can start lead Palafin, switch out into the Sinistra, flip turn out into Sinistra if you need to. Give your other mon a little Hospitality bump. Switch back out, come back in. You got Sableye. Sableye can do some really cool stuff in VGC with Prankster, things like Will-O-Wisp, Encore, Recover. Just a really annoying little mon to take care of. King Gambit is another one of my favorite Gen 9 mons. Just a really, really good mon overall. With things like Sinistra, you can Rage Powder, allow King Gambit to set up and sweep from there. Thunderous Therian is a very good special attacker. I believe they're like 135 maybe special attack. So just very, very strong damage output. And just another good pivot. You bolt switch out into one of your other mons. And just a really good team overall. I could see them, making semis, possibly even the finals by the end of the season. At 4th, we have Mizora and the Colorado Gardevoirs. If you have Iron Hands and a Moongus, your team is already top tier in my opinion. Just such a good combo there. Switch in, fake out, take some damage, swap out into a Moongus. come back in, switch Amoonguss back out with Regenerator, bring Hands back in. There's some really good pivot options. Salamence as well for Intimidate. Amoonguss can use Rage Powder to allow Spectre or Volcanion to set up a bit. Volcanion, I've never played with it in VGC before, so I don't know how well it would perform, but it's a really, really good mon. And I think that with these supportive options, they can definitely do some work here. Good speed tiers. Spectre at 130 is very, very fast. Ribombee, probably a better singles mon for speed control. But maybe they can do some work with that in a VGC format. But again, I've got this one as high as I do just because I think so highly of the Iron Hands Amoonguss pairing. And I'm just unsure of Volcanion and how it will perform, but my first impression with this pairing of supportive options is that it's probably going to do very, very well. Coming in at 3, we have Mr. Mag and the Hullbury City Horses. I apologize if I mispronounced that. I really like this team a lot. Fluttermane was the first pick off the board for good reason. It's just one of the best Gen 9 mons for sure. Probably the best Paradox mon, in my opinion. They paired it with a Sun mode in Torkoal. And, Iron Moth can do some work in Sun as well. Obviously, Jumpluff, Sandy Shocks, 2 other mons that really benefit from Sun. So just really good synergy overall. Dusclops is so freaking bulky with Eviolite and makes a really good pairing for Torkoal. You can, start Elite Dusclops, set up Trick Room, bring Torkoal in the back with like a spec set, Eruption, Terrifier Eruption, and there's not much that's gonna live that. So some really good mons, just really good synergy overall, and they have Fluttermane. So that's why I have them at number 3, and they could possibly go all the way with this. Maybe another mon switch or 2, I guess, to really complement the rest of the pieces, I suppose. Could take it to the next level, but overall, still a really, really good team. Coming in at 2, we have Topperlicat and the Wooloo Health Organization. Who? I love that. That's so funny. They took Dozo Giri. Dozo Tatsu is so good in VGC. You really need to have options against that combo if you're facing that. And just like with the Galarian Weezing, you really got to build something against that. And if they don't bring the Dozo Giri to the match, then you have a subpar set. Gouging Fire, Dozo, and Tinglu just really. I honestly like playing Dozo and solo Dozo more with Tinglu. It's just so fun. You can do some yawn stuff, Sand Tomb to lock them in, and really just slow things down against a lot of teams. Again, I think really highly of Gouging Fire. It's a very, very good mon. I wish it was better in Reg I, but it's had some very good results in previous formats. I believe it was Reg D or Reg E that it won a regional. So like some really, really good options. If you have Dozo Giri, you're already going to be a top team, in my opinion. And I mean, they got Go-Go. They got the GOAT. So they can do some really, really cool stuff. Glimora is such a good combo with Dundozo. You lead Glimora, set up a couple layers of toxic spikes, and then bring Dozagiri in the back, and it really reduces your opponent's ability to swap in and out to slow down the Dozagiri. And just that poison damage just adds up over time. Takes out focus sashes. So again, just a really good team overall, really well drafted. And I could see them, easily in the finals, probably even winning it all. And with that, that takes us to our final team. At number 1, we have Olivia, and I'm not even going to pronounce that. I'm sorry. I'll try. Liwa Harbor Glaze Lilligans. This team is very, very well drafted. This looks like a very solid Reg D team. Ogrepon Wellspring, so good. Landorus Therian is it's just one of the best ground types in VGC ever, especially in Intimidator. Just pairs really well with the rest of the squad. Clefable, Goldango, such a good combo. Again, that was a really good pairing in Reg H. So just allows you to really get set up and sweep with Goldango from there. Wheezing, just pain in the butt, like I said. You might need ability shield in that matchup if you really need that ability, and then if they don't bring it, then you're just stuck with an item that's not going to do anything for your matchup. Roaring Moon, booster energy, Tailwind, that gives you a solid Tailwind mode. Just Terra flying acrobatic stuff with Roaring Moon with booster sets is just amazing. Roaring Moon, another one of my Gen 9 favorites. So I may be a little bit biased, but I just really like this team overall. Good speed tier coverage. Thwacky is a very solid lower tier pick. With Eviolite sets, gives it really good bulk and does the same thing that Rillaboom really does. Just not as a strong damage output, but I mean, most people aren't bringing Thwacky and Rillaboom to deal massive amounts of damage. They're doing it as supportive pieces. So, just overall, just a really, really good team, and one that I definitely see finishing in the top 4 and probably even making the finals and possibly winning it all. And with all that said, those are our power rankings for the UDL VGC Season 1. I'm sorry if I didn't rank your team as highly as you would have liked. If you really disagree with any of these, please feel free to call me out in the comments. I can handle it. So with that said, thank you for being here today, and y'all have a good one. Take care.